Hi readers, Lee here, welcome back to my channel, and today is a book review. Now I'm not going to review every book that I read because I read a lot, at least one book every couple of days. Some books, like the one I'm going to review, take a little bit longer, and that's because The Auctioneer by Joan Samson was really a slow burn. The criticism I saw on Amazon and Goodreads by some was that it was boring. I did find myself skimming toward the end, not because it was boring, but it was really a slow burn. And this book was also featured in Paperbacks from Hell by Grady Hendrix. He says that it is a hard and flinty book about a small farming community decimated by city dwellers who move in and start buying up all the wagon wheels and handmade quilts, then the town's small children, and finally its soul. So, I guess the books that he covers in this section are all about urban refugees who come to the country and buy everything and at cheap and then sell it for a price later. And that is a large theme in The Auctioneer, because I wrote to myself, here, let me get to the point here, that this one paragraph I'm going to read you is a statement piece. Is it to be taken literally about losing land, or... And this is what I got from it. Like, I got that it might be a statement piece about city folk coming in and buying up everything, but I also thought about the erosion of rights. Pearly Acres is going to be known from Maine to Florida as the most desirable, the most exquisitely preserved, the best regulated, the safest, the most coveted little piece of paradise on the east coast of these United States of America. So then he goes on and talks about how close they are to the cities, but how the country is better, etc., etc. But when I mention about rights, what happens in this book is the auctioneer comes to town and they decide to have an auction to hire deputies for the police department, which up till now had been one person. So they go around to all the villagers and they ask them to donate for the auction, just once. But then it happens again and again and again, until at the end, the deputies, who don't have to give, are accompanying the auctioneer or coming on their own with guns, and the threat is implicit that now you have to give. It is not something you're giving voluntarily. And that's what made me think about losing rights. Roe v. Wade, for example. Like, if you stand by and watch and it just gets chipped away at. And there's another horrible passage about selling the children. I'm not even going to read it here. It served its purpose. It served its purpose, and it showed you what that town, what the people, not the townspeople, because they kind of take their revenge in the end and finally stand up when it's almost too late for a lot of them. But the people who are coming in and buying stuff, the city folks, it shows you a lot about them. So this, I think it very much is a statement about that, but I also, took my own things about, I also took some liberties in how I interpreted it, just because of how every time, first it's, oh, this thing that we don't need, oh, this thing, oh, now let's clean out the attic. Sorry, tried to swallow my own spit. And at the end, they're down to nothing. Their guns have been taken away, their beds have been taken, bed frames have been taken away, their saws, their tools, everything. And slow burn that it was, this book also made me rethink about how I think about horror. You know, a lot of times I see on the internet people saying, oh, that book scared me so much. Books don't scare me. But as this went on, I found myself feeling horrified at watching everything be taken from these people. It was horrific. And so it's kind of made me redefine how I think about horror. This was great. It had a lot of The Lottery by Shirley Jackson vibes, and I think that originally when this was published, the publishers and the author were trying to, go off that vibe, but then she got sick and passed away. So I do recommend it with a caveat. This is a slow burn. It's not action-packed. The horrors just drip, drip, drip. Anywho, that's all for me. I'll see you next time. Happy reading!